What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast, episode 103. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by Mr. Mega Man himself, Bryant,
Live from Creamy Canyon.
and Phaneckswhy.
What's up? What's up?
And Ash should be joining us soon. He's not on camera, at least, so I assume he'll be here sometime soon. But we do quite a few things to talk about today. There was actually a little bit of news that happened this week, some sad news and some good news, and also some other stuff that actually appeared throughout the week. But before we get into that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. The goal is by the end of the year, hopefully get to 2,000 subscribers. So any bit does help out. Share the channel, that helps out a lot as well. And of course, if you are over on Twitch or you prefer Twitch, follow us over at Twitch because I do simultaneously stream on both YouTube and Twitch. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the smaller. Actually, let's start with what we've been playing with. Actually, maybe we should skip that because we're going to be talking about Astro Bot later on, and me and you, Brian, have been playing Astro Bot. I think we're going to save that for later because we'll try to get into Astro Bot. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the smaller news. We'll start off with the Retroid Pocket 5 and Retroid Pocket Mini. Retroid announced two handhelds, and I won't say they just announced it. Throughout the past 2 weeks, they've been like putting posts out there and kind of hinting at this new handheld. And little by little, they were kind of going through and showing it off. And then eventually, it popped up, and they're like, here it is, the Retroid Pocket 5 and Retroid Pocket Mini. Two different handhelds, which was very interesting. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. I switched to takes for watching for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see that. And I'm going to have everybody here see that. So, all right, let's go right there. So, right here we have the Retroid Pocket 5 handheld, and it's actually pretty awesome. The specs on it are pretty good. It's using a the Snapdragon 865. Thank you, fan. The 865, 5.5 inch handheld for the Retroid Pocket 5. OLED display, which is nice at 1080p, 60 FPS. 5,000 milliamp hour battery, analog L2R2 Hall effect sticks, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.1, has some like RGB around the thumbsticks as well. And there are 4 different flavors you can get. The one I've been eyeing is the GameCube aesthetic one. Like, what do you guys think about the GameCube looking one? You guys don't like it, or you think it's? I mean, I think it looks cool. that might be just me. Fan.
It's all right.
It's all right. You don't like it?
I mean, yeah.
What about you, Brian? If a Switch came in that color scheme, would you buy it or no?
No, purple's not or indigo's not my jam.
Really? Oh man.
Yeah, I had a black GameCube back in the day.
Oh, same here. I got the black one as well.
I like that one better with the Super Famicom buttons.
Yeah, the Super Famicom buttons are always nice. That's one thing I hope about the new Switch is I hope it has the Super Famicom buttons because I don't know, colorful buttons are just nice. It just brings me back to Super Famicom or the Dreamcast. Dreamcast had colorful buttons, and I mean I guess the Xbox does have X, Y, A, and B, colorful kind of but it's not the same. And then of course there's black, and then there is a white one, basic white. But these are pretty good looking. I mean, honestly, like when I first saw these, like this is pretty good. The specs are pretty neat with A65. It does run Android 10, but they do support Linux as well. So they said they have opened it up so you can go ahead and just pretty much install Linux on it and then run Linux instead of Android, which is kind of cool. And then they also have the Retroid Pocket Mini, which is smaller, 3.7 inch display. It's a 1280 by 960 at 60 FPS. But pretty much everything else is the same. It's OLED display, 6 gigs of RAM, same chip. It's a smaller battery because it is a smaller device at 4,000 milliamp hours. And then you have analog L2R2, same thing, 3 Hall effect sticks. Like I said, everything's the same except for the colors. They have the Saturn colors, and I had to look this up because over here the Sega Saturn was just black. But apparently, I guess maybe in Japan, they came in this color scheme. Have you guys ever searched up the Saturn controllers to see?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know either because I was like Saturn. I was like, is that Sega Saturn? But yeah, if you Google search Sega Saturn, there was a different color scheme for Sega Saturns overseas, which is pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, there's the Saturn color. There's this white and orange color option. There's basic black. There's this one that says it's called SFC, and I thought it would stand for like Super Famicom, but like red and black is typically the Famicom like kind of colors, or the NES, I guess. I have no clue what SFC stands for, but there's that, and then there's the 16-bit, which of course is the Super Famicom kind of color schemes. The Retroid Pocket Mini is $199, while the Retroid Pocket 5 is $219. And of course, if you buy it day one, you do get like a discount. I believe it comes out to, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's $199 for the Retroid Pocket 5, and it's $20 cheaper also for the Retroid Pocket Mini. Fan, are you thinking of picking up any of these at all, or no? Are you fine with your RG Cube?
To be honest, I'm probably okay with my RG Cube. I was a little disappointed that they went with an 865 processor because it's not that much. It's almost the same performance as what they had before, which with the Dimensity 1100 on the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. So there isn't really that much huge of a benefit. The only thing is just the OLED screen. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And like, I'd probably rather save some money and try and get like an Odin 2 or an Odin 2 Mini.
Yeah.
Just because that one's got like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this might be another reason why you might want to get an Odin 2 Mini. Because what's actually coming soon is Cemu is actually coming to Android. So there is a beta. The downside to this beta is that it's not compatible with Android 10 and below, which means it's not compatible with the Retroid Pocket 5 or Mini. But it will work with the Odin 2 because I believe the Odin 2 runs like Android 12, if I'm not mistaken, or the Mini as well. So you would be able to do that. Not only that, the Gen 2 processor is also a lot more powerful than the 865. So that's pretty neat. Like that just literally got announced today when I was going ahead and like looking for stuff to kind of talk about for small news. That just popped up. I was like, okay, I do want to talk about that. But it's kind of neat because back then when I was really thinking about getting the Odin 2, and to an extent I do want the Odin 2 or the Odin 2 Mini. I was thinking about, if I were to get the Odin 2, I want something a little bit stronger because eventually when Cemu comes to Android, I would want to be able to do that as well. And looks like they're beta testing. Some people have said, New Super Mario Brothers works fine. They've tried like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, and those are working pretty decent at 30 FPS. And of course, it is in beta, so it's hit and miss. Some games had artifacting and stuff like that, but it seems to be right on track to be pretty good. So that's something you might want to look out for in the future. And hopefully, somehow they make it compatible with the Retroid Pocket 5. Even though I don't think the Retroid Pocket 5 would be strong enough to support Cemu. But we'll wait and see. Personally, going to pick up both the Retroid Pocket 5 and Mini, and of course do a review on it and do some comparisons and all that stuff on there, and see where it goes from there. See if I really like it or not. Like I mentioned, I believe in the last podcast, my RG Cube is off to Ambernick to get a replacement because my touchscreen is not working. So hopefully I get that soon because I've been wanting to play some of my other games on there, and I just get so upset that my Mother 3 save file is erased and I gotta start from scratch. But other than that, I hope to get it back soon because I do miss the
Couldn't
RG
back it
Cube.
up or save it or anything?
I didn't think about it. That's the thing. Like I went ahead and I was like, oh, let
You
me
were
go
so
ahead and
focused
erase
on
it.
getting the new item, like you were just, I want to get this fixed. I'm sending it out. Like you just even think of that at the time, I'm sure.
I was thinking of just trying to fix it, and then by the time I erased it to see if maybe that would fix it, I was like, no, my save file, why? So
Right.
yeah, I had it. When you get frustrated at something and you're just focused on getting it fixed, that's basically where I was at with that. So
I feel that.
yeah, but let's go ahead and
I
talk.
actually measured the
Oh, go
screen
ahead.
like on the RG Cube.
Uh-huh.
If you play like a PS2 game on it,
Yeah,
the screen size is 3.5 inches.
3.5
So-
inches.
Yeah. So like the Retroid 5 Mini,
Yeah, the
3.7.
Retroid
So
Pocket
it's only like 0.2 difference in size. So
Yeah.
like in the processor isn't that much better than what's on the RG Cube.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, do I want to like waste $200, or do I just want to like put that towards an Odin 2 Mini?
Well, you can wait for my review, and we'll see if there's actually a bigger difference than what they show, because they do have different GPUs.
Yeah, but like, it's going to be very comparable in terms. You know, it's going to be similar performance. It's not going to be that huge of a difference, I can tell. Because there's phones out there with the 865 processor that they've done emulation and stuff on it.
Yeah. I'm
disappointed just because, like, I mean, they could have done like an 88 with 8 gigs of RAM, and it would have been way better.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna mess around with it and see what I can get out of it, and see my comparison versus the RG Cube as well as the Astro Pocket micro that I have coming in as well. So
yeah, which one are you gonna get? The mini or the regular?
I'm gonna get both. They have they have a bundle deal. If you buy them both, you get a discount. So I'm gonna get them both, and then I'll figure out what to do with them and see which one I like more. Main reason for getting them both is because the Retroid Pocket 5 is a 5.5-inch display, and I want to see like how big it is compared to the Steam Deck, and if I will carry that a lot more. Where the Mini is more of the type that I'm looking for as my companion to the Steam Deck, where it's small enough that I can fit in the back. Cause I have a little like a what do you call it? Like a sling bag, and I want it to be small enough that I could just fit in there. So like when I go out somewhere, I can just put it inside there and do that. I can't do that with my Steam Deck or anything like that. So I want something small enough that if I just go out somewhere, I can just put it inside there and, you know, play it out there. So that's why I'm looking at the Mini. But the Retroid Pocket 5 is small enough that it also fits in there. Then I don't know. I mean, when it comes to the two, also like they both have the same specs, so it's really just size that I'm comparing from there. So who knows? We'll see.
So you can do for the early bird, trying to get a big of a discount as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Doing the early bird when it comes out, when the pre-orders start September 9th at 9 p.m. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. September 9th is gonna be a busy day. Moving on, let's go ahead and talk about Concord. Poor Concord. Is this not the shortest lived game ever? Like, I can't think of any game that's died faster than Concord.
What was it, 2 weeks?
Yeah, maybe a little bit less than 2 weeks. I feel it's like 10 days or something like that. Like, it was really, really short. And it's sad. It's one of those things that, remember when we were doing the state of play and it first popped up? We were all like, why? Like, and it wasn't just us. Like,
it went on for so long, too.
Exactly.
How long it went on, I was like, okay, this could have been shortened significantly.
Yep. It was like a whole, like, 5-minute animation, and then they went on and continued talking about it after that animation. It's like, oh, man. But yeah, I to the extent I feel bad for the devs, because supposedly it was like 8 years of hard work. But at what point during this development did anybody, like, I'm trying to think, did they start to think like maybe this is not a good game, or maybe I don't know, like, what are you guys' thoughts on this whole situation with Concord? Because for me, I have like no words to express when it comes to Concord.
If it
was trying to be a cash grab. That's basically what it was.
You just popped in, Ash. You have to wait.
Yeah. The problem is it took him 8 years to make this game. Like the gaming space changed so quickly that I think like by 4 or 5 years in, they should have seen this coming. Like, we should probably just scrap this game and do something different.
I
agree. Wasting more development time into it. Because I mean, they're refunding people back for the people that bought the game. Like, they're giving refunds for it.
So it's definitely a loss. Like,
yeah, it's like a huge loss. They could have cut their losses way earlier.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting when you think about the dichotomy between Astro Bot and Concord, which is going to be the other game we're going to talk about in a great deal, where Astro Bot was a very curt 3 years of development time, a very tight-knit group of folks that made it cheap in comparison to a game like Concord, just oozing quality out of every part of it. Then you have Concord that was like 100, I think it was like 80 or 100 million dollars. I think I read somewhere, or
250 million which is even worse.
I've read figures around that. I don't know how true the figures are, because I've heard like to that too, but then I've heard there is no source on that. So we'll just say it's very, 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 very over expensive, no matter what the true number is.
Oh yeah.
And like you just look at it and it's just so unappealing. It just looks like a game that was made in order to check a box for a game made in 2021 or 2020. Like it's got the battle pass, it's got the kooky characters, it's got this narrative that may be good, I don't know, but that doesn't make up for the cookie cutter gameplay. It looks like there's production value there, like money was spent, you can tell, but at the same time it's like Sony could, I mean, just think about it this way, like this is the thing I just constantly think about. Like I'm not a big Souls guy, and we all know this, but like if they would have just done a Bloodborne remaster, just take the existing assets and just put it to a T, maybe Blue Point, and just do a remaster so it runs at 60 frames per second, maybe 4K or just really high up res on a PS5, that game would have made so much money and would have been so much cheaper to make than Concord. And they would have got like all the gamers, all the PC gamers, because I'm sure it would have gone on PC at some point. Like everybody would have just absolutely loved Sony. This has been like the year of Sony if they would have done that. And instead, they just pour all their money into this hero shooter that they're taking offline within 2 weeks. And it just says to me that like one hand isn't washing the other over there, and that I'm just glad that Astro Bot came out to wash the taste of Concord out.
I feel like someone's gonna either lose their job or get a job title change.
People said Jim Ryan was the reason for that, and that's like a reason why he's not there anymore, was because that was like one of his decisions, and then he ended up, early retiring or whatever.
I mean, there's a lot of things with that, because like also look at the comparison. Like Jim Ryan came in and basically killed Sony Japan, right? And the only thing that survived from Sony Japan was Team Asobi, who's doing did Astro Bot, right? Yeah, exactly. And it's like when you really look at that, it's like that was a dumb decision, because I feel like games so far have gone through a phase, right, where you have Western games are popular, right? Which you can say, pre-80s. And then, from mid-80s to, early 2000s, it was all Japanese games. And then we had this phase of Western games becoming popular again around the PS3 360 era. And then it went back, and then, PlayStation 4 era as well. And then it started going back to, like, Japanese games. And now we're kind of in that phase where Japanese games are kind of like what's popular and what people are really, like, gravitating towards, because it's just we're sick and tired of first-person shooters and just everything kind of being the same feel. So you want something a little bit different, and Astro Bot is, a breath of fresh air. It's something that's not Nintendo only doing it. It's another company doing it, and it feels good. Playing that game feels like the PlayStation 1 era. And when you hear a lot of complaints about Sony, it's like, we want you to go back to your roots. Go back to the PlayStation 1 era of gaming. There was that tweet that popped up where it was like, we don't have any IPs.
You don't have any? Yeah, I was just going to say that you don't have any IPs. What?
Yeah, it's like, that is dumb. Like, off the top of my head.
Astro Bot is a celebration of their IPs, like right
exactly. There. Sack Chief, friend of the channel, had posted, he's like, he's playing Astro Bot. He's like, this feels like Astro Bot takes a trip to the Sony graveyard, because there's so many IPs that you come across, Jak and Dexter, you have Ape Escape. There's so many like characters in there. It just feels like it's a Sony graveyard of IPs that Sony's doing nothing with. Instead you go to Concord. I don't know. Like, live service it sucks, and to an extent I understand them, but because like if we look at like my son, right? Because we're all old people here, right? We like certain games. We're used to like these single player experiences and stuff like that. We might dabble in multiplayer every now and then. It's single player where it's at. Where I look at my son, he's just playing Call of Duty every day, or he might transition to Fortnite or something like that. And that's like his type of stuff.
Roblox, into the Roblox too.
Roblox as well, correct? Yeah,
Roblox,
he's at that age. But I have like my 10-year-old right now. He's playing Astro Bot on the PS5. And he loves the game, and he like.
You did good, James. You did good.
I mean, I try to get him to do a variety and not just do fake games, like I like to call them. But it's like, that the younger generation, I get it. They're really trying to market to them, but it's something different, right? They follow their friends, and typically the games they go after are already established games, right? Valorant, Call of Duty, Fortnite, and that's it. Maybe Overwatch.
That's about it. It's an oversaturated market for those games.
Exactly.
Right? You can't. I mean, they can try, but you're gonna fail more likely than you are gonna succeed.
Sony went where the
This-
puck was, not where the puck was going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And that's what happens when a game of 8 years in development, like you don't, if you're not looking towards the future and realize this is a fad that might die eventually, then you're kind of screwed. And I think, Sony's bread and butter has always been single player experiences. Like as far as back as you look at it, that's always been what Sony is. And I guess they're trying to dive into a market where they can get reoccurring revenue, but
You remember that game that came out? Concord actually reminds me a lot of it. It was that game that came out when like Toys to Life was like just about dead, and it came out. It was that Starship game that came out like on Switch. What was it called? What the heck was it called?
It had the Star Fox. It had this thing. I forgot what it's called
Star
now.
Fox in it.
Yeah, it had
I'll look it up.
this Starlink.
Oh yeah, Starlink. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Wait,
One.
is it Starlink?
It reminds me of that.
Is it Starlink? No, Starlink is
Starlink?
Elon Musk's thing, isn't it?
Let's see.
Starlink.
Starlink Battle for Atlas.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like that was a prime example of a game that like, oh, the Toys to Life is a surefire hit. We'll just release this with Star Fox characters and it's gonna make $1 billion. And then it ended up coming out.
Little
I
Star
don't have
Fox
that.
there.
Yeah, it's like then it ended up coming out like right when that was dead. Because like I want to say like the game that really kicked off the Toys to Life was that Spyro game. That was like the one that really what was it called? Skylanders?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Disney, what was it called? Disney Infinity that came out, and that was kind of big, and then that died, and then it's like, oh, Starlink's gonna come out, and it's like, yeah, well, nobody really cares.
Yeah, it's the fad. Like companies, I feel like they, certain companies they chase fads, like amiibos too, right? For me, I like amiibos because they're a cheap way to collect Nintendo, toys basically. And that's why I like, amiibos. But like all the other stuff was a fad because there was, Skylanders, right? And Skylanders started dying when Disney Infinity was already coming out. I remember buying Disney Infinity, the Star Wars version, because I thought it would be cool, and then that died quick. Like that didn't even last like a year because after that,
did you like it?
Done. It was decent. Like I thought it could have been better, right? Lego also had Lego Dimensions.
Oh, Lego Dimensions, yep.
Yeah, and I remember I bought Lego Dimensions specifically because they had the Sonic Lego toy.
Oh,
yeah, so you could get the Sonic Lego, and then they had the Sonic like thing in there. But that one, like the Lego Dimensions one, was actually really good.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, Batman, like Ninjago and stuff like that. So
Back
that
to the
was pretty
Future.
fun. Yep, there's a lot of cool things in there, and it's just a Lego game. So if you ever played a Lego game, it's just that, just with the dimension stuff like that. Mike the Mexican King says Lego Dimensions was kind of sick. Yep, like I really enjoyed Lego Dimensions. It kind of sucks that it died. And in my opinion, I think Lego Dimensions was better than Disney Infinity. That's my opinion, though. I feel like one of you guys were gonna say something. Were you or?
I mean, I haven't said anything yet, but
Yeah, anything to say, Ash?
Well, the piggyback from some of y'all, like legit, I'm just tired of just the current state of games right now. Like you said, James, every company is just trying to chase a trend. I'm just sick of it, and they're asking why they're not doing good sales numbers because everyone and their freaking mother is making the same goddamn game. I'm tired of it, bro. Like, let's go back from the mid 80s to the early 2000s where we have developers that just want to make games and that's it, right? And we still kind of have that. We still kind of have that in this modern age, which the only developers I can say right now, or I guess there's a big list. Yeah. Sony, I don't know, but like there's a big list of indie developers that are still doing it. And then there's this one big developer that I like to praise a lot, Nintendo. Yeah. Those are literally the only developers that actually care about making games and stuff. Yeah. And you wonder why that I still play on my Switch because they make good games for their stuff. Yeah. Sony, listen, they have some unique IPs, but we're talking about early 2000s and before that.
Yeah.
Now, Concord came out and I don't know what to say.
Dude, Astro Bot, man. We're going to talk about Astro Bot in a minute.
Astro Bot is literally a nostalgia game. Literally, that's what it is. And like, hey, listen, you can debate all you want, but straight up, they could have revived at least Jack and Daxter in most of their IPs. They could have done that, but they didn't.
Maybe they might, this
So-
might push it. Let's go into some Astro Bot because I know Brian's gonna leave soon. I want Brian to give his take on it before he leaves. So go ahead, Brian. Floor is all yours.
Okay. So it was a very special memory when Astrobot got announced. We were live streaming it. Actually, I don't remember if everybody was here or not, but I know it was at least me and you, James.
I think it was just me.
Maybe everybody was here. Okay, I don't remember, but anyway,
maybe.
Well, regardless, we streamed it live, and I was with you for that, fortunately. And the game looks so good, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's day one buy. I can't wait for that. Astrobot's sick. That free game that came on PS5 was great." And then it came out, and it's gotten all these incredible reviews. And I picked it up. I downloaded it at 11 o'clock Central because that's when it came out here. And I started playing it, and like I couldn't put it down. And like I just played it for like 2 days. I played it day before yesterday straight, and I played it yesterday straight. Like I played it like on Thursday night all night, and I played it all day Friday, and only stopped to watch the Packers game. And it's just the absolute anathema to Concord. It's just so fun. It's just the haptic feedback adds so much to it. Like when you're going on spikes and you feel the little ding a ding a ding a ding a ding a ding on the controller. When you hit things, it vibrates. When you are going through little like objects like balls or leaves or something, like you feel the controller vibrate. When you hit enemies, when you collect the bots that are of other Sony IP, and there's so many in there that I'm like almost halfway done, and I know there's so many more to grab. The level design is just so fresh and inventive. You get these power-ups in it that really add a lot to it. Like there's like these boxing gloves that just make it so you can swing from things as well as beat the crap out of enemies. There's just so many cool physics-based things in it. It just feels so experimental and just really fresh. And yeah, it's a platformer, but guess what? Like outside of Nintendo, we don't get platformers very often. So like it doesn't have to reinvent the wheel, even though it kind of does. It's just there's so much cool stuff in it. And I was just kind of thinking, like I wrote on my Twitter that it's better than Mario Odyssey, which I know there's some consternation about that between me and you because you haven't played enough yet to make a declaration on that. And I think it would be fair to say that it depends on where you fall in the Mario camp. For me, I think Super Mario Galaxy is probably the best Mario game ever made, the best 3D Mario game ever made, Super Mario Galaxy. I like it way better than Super Mario Odyssey. And I feel like Astrobot is way more like Super Mario Galaxy than it is like Super Mario Odyssey. I still think Astrobot is better than Super Mario Odyssey. But if like you like that flavor better of Mario Odyssey, like I can understand why you might like Odyssey better than Astrobot. But in my opinion, Astrobot is right up there with Galaxy as far as how much fun I'm having with it and just how organic it feels. And this is a game. Like if nobody ever played a video game before, I would just sit them down with Astrobot and say, this is what a game is. And they'll love it. I can't recommend enough. 10 out of 10. The only game that really comes close for me for game of the year, like I haven't decided yet who's gonna be game of the year. It's either gonna be Stellar Blade or it's gonna be Astrobot. I haven't made a declaration yet. Got a couple months left, but that's where I'm hanging. It's just so good. It's such a unique special experience.
Yeah, two totally different games. Real quick, Bug Fact Mike asks, any couch co-op recommendations for Switch? I wrote in the chat Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and Super Mario 3D World. What are your guys' take?
Couch co-op.
Snipper Clips. I heard that was fun. That was like a launch game that has good couch co-op.
Technically, you can sort of do couch co-op for Mario Odyssey if you want a player to play as Cappy, but I can't think of any other ones.
It's the same though.
Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection, and split the what was it called? Shredder's Revenge.
Shredder's Revenge. Yeah, those are good choices.
Those are super solid.
Yeah.
You got a lot of replayability with Shredder's Revenge.
Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. I mean, I played that whole game with my wife, and we had a blast. Like, it was a fun game, and honestly, I'm one of those that I wish another Let's Go game would come out because it was nice to play it with my wife. It was pretty awesome.
Did you ever get the Pokeball with it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, those are expensive nowadays.
Ever came out on the Switch?
No, I don't think so.
I think so. Yeah,
it did.
Two? Yeah,
it was able to run it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
That's a great co-op game.
That's not a difficult game to like render. I think the Switch hardware is more than decent enough to run it.
Yeah, it was fine.
That's
a great one. That might be the best one. I mean, it did win Game of the Year.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I mean, everything else that I would, man, I'm trying to think of in my head. Like Yeah, I can't really think. Like Minecraft Dungeons also is pretty fun if you like dungeon crawlers.
Diablo 3.
Yeah,
Is that
Diablo 3 is on there. Yeah, Diablo 2 as well.
That depends on the person.
Yeah, depends on the person. Um, Sonic Superstars.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
there's a lot of options there.
Yeah. Let's see. As far for me for Astro Bot, like I haven't played enough of Astro Bot, like you said, to say it's better than Mario Odyssey. I will tell you this: Mario Odyssey is not my favorite 3D Mario game. That actually
is?
goes to Super Mario 3D World. I love Super Mario 3D World, and it's
That's
kind of hard to
perfect.
say. Like it's not totally 3D like Odyssey and Galaxy and stuff like that, but it's not 2D either. It's kind of like that weird hybrid. But I really like it because
Isometric thing,
I
yeah.
really love the level design. And everything that goes along with it. And I really like Bowser's Fury as well. Like Bowser's Fury is what I feel like the next Mario game is gonna be like. And I really enjoyed Bowser's Fury. I thought that was like a great like 10 out of 10 experience. This is what I wish Mario Odyssey was. But as far as playing like Astro Bot, I don't right now, like I said, I don't think it's better than Mario Odyssey, but it's really good. It's definitely, as of right now, sitting at a 9 out of 10. And I think I said this earlier, it reminds me of just the PlayStation era of like platformers. It's
Yeah.
really
Only
good
way
in
better.
that sense. Yeah, way better controls, right? Yeah. But
right.
like I like it, like playing it, it just brings me back to an era where all that was, nice.
Like Spyro, Crash.
Exactly, like Ape Escape, stuff like that. And even though I guess you could say Ape Escape's not really a platformer, but there is an Ape Escape
Oh,
level
sure it is.
inside
Dexter,
there.
Sly
Would you call it a
Cooper.
platform? Yeah.
I call it a platform, yeah.
You call it a platform? Okay. But like I really enjoyed that. And it's basically if you played Astro's Playroom, it's just that, but more of it, which I'm okay with. And I'm very, very like happy and like satisfied with this game. I can't wait to play it. Like I gotta wait till next week to stream it again because I want to do everything on stream. But it's one of those games that I can't wait to play. I'll continue playing it. I was watching my son play a little bit, and he had the little like mouse power up where you turn to a little mouse.
Yeah. You go small.
Yeah, power up. I guess it's an oxymoron because you technically go little. You don't go
Right,
big.
true.
But but he was doing that, and like it's pretty cool, and he's enjoying it. And like I was telling you, Bryant, this might be my first platinum because I'm very into the game that I want to do every single thing. I want to collect every single bot. I want to go and get every single puzzle piece, every single secret level, and all that other good stuff. So
That game is built for that.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it seems like it's short enough to where you could do it easily.
yeah, that too.
Like it doesn't seem like a super long game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine, Like I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
Yeah, and I
I'm
do want to
cool
give
with
a
short games too.
I do want to give a shout out to also to Drokuma and Reisaki. They're the ones that actually bought the game for me. Because spending this money on the handhelds makes it hard to do that. Trying to get these review units for everybody, but they went ahead because they wanted me to stream it. So shout out to them for going ahead and getting the game for me. But yeah, like I'm enjoying it. Can't wait to play more of it, and I'm happy. They got it for me. I'm happy it's there, and I can't wait to play more of it. I hope that this sells really good. To send a message to Sony that we want more things like this.
More of this, less
Please,
Concords.
Yes.
please, I beg. It's not just for Sony either. I want every other
Everybody,
company to like see that. Like, please. God, I'm tired.
Did Ratchet and Clank, the launch title for the PS5, did it not do very well?
I'm not too sure.
Did?
Yeah, I
I
thought
mean,
so.
it came
Like,
out on
don't know.
PC too, so I bet it did
Yeah.
great.
because I think it did 2 million on launch
Okay.
week. I want to say.
Yeah, because
And
that's like an original IP game that was like.
Yeah, but
way back.
yeah, when it comes to Sony though, like you also got to think like, what do they see as successful now? Like, are they expecting God of War numbers for every game, or
Yeah.
That's just
they-
unrealistic.
Yeah, where Nintendo, right? Like Pikmin sold like I think 2 million. They were satisfied with that. Where Tears of the Kingdom sells like 10 million, and they're also satisfied with that. Different take because like to Nintendo, like Pikmin was a success. Pikmin 4 specifically was a success, even though it sold only 2 million. And by most company standards, you sell 2 million, you're like,
It's
I
shit.
don't know about that.
And like,
Sold
it's
4 million.
4
According to
million?
Resetera,
Okay.
it sold 4 million as of December of 2023. It made profit for Sony on an $81 million budget.
That's still a high budget, 81 million. Yeah, that's a lot.
A lot of animations in that game.
Yeah, that's true. But like I hope this sends a signal that we need more games like that. Like I would honestly like a new Ape Escape game. because Ape Escape was fun, and I think they
It's
can
so
do
fun.
a great. Who was the original developer of Ape Escape? Does anybody know? Was it Sony Japan?
Is it Sony themselves? Yeah, let me double check. Ape Escape developer. Japan Studio, yeah.
Japan Studios, man, they got to bring back Japan Studios. That was their biggest
Of
mistake.
course. See, it's listen. There's a
No,
lot more
Concord
money.
was their biggest mistake.
There's a lot more money that went into the industry and
That's
stuff.
true.
So nowadays, it's just companies listening to their shareholders on what's the latest trend. It's just like a lot of sheep flocking to one thing, and I'm just tired of it. Let's diversify.
Yeah.
Try new things. Try new risk.
Yeah.
That's how you
Trying new-
flourish.
Speaking of trying new things, I'm gonna go try this new movie. You guys have a good rest of your podcast, and I'll talk to you later. On that
All right,
note.
bye. You take care.
All right, see you, man.
Like,
Dude,
for
Retroid.
me, what was it?
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say Retroid just announced like something like a minute ago.
Oh, what did it announce?
Out of nowhere.
Now?
Retroid Pocket 5 is gonna come with 8 gigs of RAM and Android 13.
Oh, so they updated it?
Yeah. Like,
And
literally,
how-
they announced it.
And how big is the screen?
5.5 inch.
5.5, yeah. What the? That is crazy. So live update. Hold on, I gotta see that they just tweeted it out right now. Oh yeah,
It's
huge
just-
RP5 owners rejoice.
It's
RP5
just
owners, nobody has it. Yeah, y'all.
It's just a machine like that. You would want something with just a bit of a bigger screen. That's my issue with that, right?
yeah.
Because if
5.5
I would have a
is decent size.
Yeah.
It's bigger than their previous model. Their previous one was only 4.7.
fair,
That is crazy.
And it's an
I'm
OLED.
telling-
So,
if anything, I'm probably just more used to just a bit bigger size screens for most. So maybe some people dig the 5.5. I don't know.
I'm asking them what about the mini, because the mini needs it too. But man, that makes a difference now, because now this, like we were mentioning about CMU, now the Retroid Pocket 5 can do CMU. I don't know how good 8 gigs of RAM is, but you'll be able to do CMU now. So
How big is 5.5 our screen?
5.5. I mean, if you look at it's smaller than like an iPhone 15 Pro Max. Because iPhone 15 Pro Max is
Okay, around
yeah.
there. Okay,
So
got it.
it's smaller than that. It's smaller than iPhone 15 Pro, because that's a 6.1 inch display. So
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
But yeah, we got sidetracked. What I wonder is, like, does Sony actually look back at, or are they looking at other things? Like I'm thinking, was it Expedition 33 or whatever number it is?
34, I think.
34, yeah, whatever that one is, the Expedition game. Like, in my head, like when I look at it, I see Lost Odyssey, but at the same time, I'm wondering, like I was thinking, like, what if a Legend of Dragoon had like that type of like gameplay? Because it has that action-based type of, when you go to attack, right? You have to time your attacks to do the combos. A Legend of Dragoon remake in those graphics would do so good. Like, and you don't have to do like a crazy, $250 million budget. You can make a Legend of Dragoon that looks great with a smaller budget. Like, I think, I don't know. Sony needs to go back to the drawing board.
And it could be like active turn-based too.
Yeah, active turn-based. When you, because didn't they have it too? Like, I thought in Legend of Dragoon too, in certain cases when you get attacked, you can press if you time the button, you can block, right? Or am I making that up?
Kinda. I think I honestly don't know for sure. I just do it out of habit, and sometimes something happens.
Yeah, because I could have sworn there was parts where, like, or maybe when it's your girl, I don't know. I got to replay the game and remember that. But like, if they look back at their old IPs and bring them back to life, I think they would realize that they're sitting on a gold mine. You don't have to continuously create new IPs, right? You could go back and visit your old IPs; they're just fine. And instead of making another remaster of Last of Us, they could have spent money on that instead.
But that's the perfect example, though.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
People were still buying it, and that game's not even that old.
And and it's working. It's listen. It's just that the problem is like we said so many times ago with the gaming industry. There's a lot more money into it, and so now companies will now listen to all their shareholders on what to do next. Right?
Yeah.
They're not really listening to the gamers a lot, unfortunately.
Not anymore.
So,
unfortunately, that ended.
Yeah, and the thing is, I literally have no idea how we're supposed to get out of it, because there's already so much money into it, and I feel like when there's money pouring into like a certain topic or industry or whatever, it now just like I don't know if it evolves or devolves, but I think it just devolves itself into like a most common denominator when it comes to like the stuff you see in there, right? Yeah. So it's just how do you get out of that? That's the real question. Or do you wait until the bubble bursts? Because right now some people are saying that hey, video game crash is probably around the corner, but I'm like, you said that a year ago, and you said that the year before, but we're still here, aren't we? I don't know. I don't know when it's gonna crash. I'm not an expert on that, but like, damn, it's just.
Well, it's I can see a video game crash like happening like outside of Nintendo because right, Xbox, look at their situation, PlayStation to an extent. While they're not in that situation, people are just getting bored of what PlayStation's bringing to the table. And yes, you had God of War Ragnarok that's happening, but then you have like this whole year, there's really nothing but Astro Bot and what was it? I guess you can. I mean, I wouldn't really count Stellar Blade because that's like a third party, and so is Rebirth is a third party.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Wasn't there another first party game that Sony did this year?
I don't know. I don't know if they actually. I don't know if Sony actually did this one, but I forgot the game. It was a roguelike. It was like it takes place in space.
Returnal, yeah.
Internal.
Returnal, yeah, but that was years. That was like
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that game is on PC now, but I don't know, like, so.
Yeah, so like the games are getting very expensive to make, and then it's like if they don't sell well, then that's a loss. Like Concord, right? They just lost all that money, so I can see where people are saying like a video game crash is happening. Like for me personally, like there's nothing Sony's doing that's really grabbing my attention. Like Astro Bot is one. That's really it. Like they don't have anything else announced. Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing: the reason why the games are expensive to make because the companies themselves are making the freaking games expensive to make, right? Like straight up, like there's literally indie games made by one person and still sold a crap ton of money. You know what? Those same indie games are still giving you free DLC and free updates like it's no problem, right? I mean, one game Sea of Stars, that one. Stardew, I give you a better one, Stardew Valley. And now I'm not a big fan of Stardew Valley, but I'm pretty sure that particular game kind of just made Farming Simulator popular again, literally. Like when I see people hop into this game, they invested 1,000 hours into this. And then after they saw the huge boom, guess what happened? Other big gaming companies are like, oh man, Stardew Valley was only made by one guy. If he can do it, so can we. So it became oversaturated, and guess what happened? We were after Nintendo Direct, we saw a lot of farming simulation games, and we all got tired of that shit, huh? Mm-hmm. So it's just, bro. The reason why the dude made Stardew Valley because he wanted to make the game. He had fun with it, and he was by himself doing it too. He didn't listen to no shareholders. He wanted to make the game he envisioned, and that was it. And that was literally art itself. That was in the mid 80s to early 2000, maybe like up to like 2012. Mm-hmm. So, and we need to get back to that. we just need to get back to that. And the thing is, I don't know how because there's a lot of variables in play on how we're supposed to get to that. And I hope we don't have to do much, because if Sony actually, have a couple more brain cells and realize, oh my God, this one IP called Astro Bot did so well with tons of companies and with tons of gamers. They love it. Let's make another one and make games like that where it's original and have fun with it instead of just, following the trend. Like I'm just done.
That was it.
Rise of Ronin, that was this year, right? Yeah, that was
this year.
Yeah.
I'm just
that was from Sony Entertainment.
I'm just tired. I'm just tired of Sony, man. And the thing is, I still tell people, listen, I will buy a PS5 if the damn system can do backwards compatible all the way down to PS1, which it can't. It's possible. They're just not doing it.
Yeah.
So
I mean that's the PS5. Like I have it. I barely use it. It's
which by the way, I mean, like emulation is a powerful thing, right? I mean, all because of the wonderful Steam Deck. I can. Oh,
you have the Steam Deck in?
Oh, stupid Blur! God dang it! Give me a second. It ruined my reveal.
Is that Brian's the one that you bought from them?
Oh yeah. I thought you were about to say the game, but here we go.
I didn't see the game.
come on, stupid brightness.
I
Oh,
can't
actually,
see it.
maybe I should adjust the brightness. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you should turn on the brightness, man. Yeah, I can't think of any other games.
There we go.
Yeah, Breath of Fire
yeah.
4. That's what I'm talking about. Did you download an Emu deck, or you went and downloaded the
Emu deck.
individual emulator? Yeah, and you did the
Emu deck.
configuration from there.
Yep, it
Emu
was
deck
fun.
is amazing, man. Like, what they do over there to make it easy to configure emulation, man. Huge props to what they do.
Beautiful. Look, I was literally doing all of this before hopping onto the podcast. Because I wanted. I literally told Charlie, listen, once I get the Steam Deck, I'm gonna put Breath of Fire 4 on it. And the thing was, they were saying, hey, listen, you got to get a hard drive to get all the files in. But I'm like, bro, I'm a pro at Linux. All I had to do was start an SSH server on the deck, and I can just remotely transfer my files from my computer to the deck. Easy peasy. So, but yeah. Fun stuff. Like, we need this.
4, that's what I'm talking about.
There's a reason why, a lot of people are using emulation, mainly because they want to go back to games that were good and they're still good. And companies are mad that we're using emulation, but like they're not doing anything about it. It's kind of like, you mad, bro? Then make the stuff that we want to buy. Like that's not that hard to do.
We've talked about it before. Perfect examples are Capcom and their fighting collections. Like, you know, I was emulating SNK or Capcom versus SNK 2, and now that it's coming in the next collection, once it releases, I won't be emulating it anymore. I'll be buying there because now they're giving you online net play. You know, what do you call it?
Yeah.
Rollback net code and all that stuff. Like they have all of that happening. Marvel vs. Capcom is another one. I would emulate that nonstop on my Steam Deck, and now that we're getting an official version, well, guess what? I'm gonna be playing that instead.
It's easier to run off of. I mean, technically, setting up an emulator is a bit harder than playing the game off of official hardware. But if you make it official, all I gotta do is download, run, and that's it. It's easy.
Exactly.
Like, come on, like it's like they complain about all these things, but like you got to look at a simpler. You just look at it with bigger lenses and be like, oh, it's a lot more simpler than we thought. We just got actually release the games. You know, so man,
it's funny. I'm looking at sorry. So I tweeted to Retroid Pocket about the mini. So the mini is gonna stay the same. They said so. It's still gonna be 6 gigs of RAM versus 8. And they said something about 810 is better suited for that configuration.
I think it's for the 6 gigs.
For the 6
gigs. I think that's what they mean. But that just makes no sense. But whatever. Yeah,
and then somebody had replies like, so the chip is being upgraded for the Retroid Pocket 5 because that's what it sounded like. But they're saying they went to Qualcomm and they helped them out and that's pretty much that. So that's interesting. So now there's going to be a bigger difference between the two. So at least when I review them, I'm not going to say, well, they're both the same thing, just different sizes. Now they got different configurations. So I will definitely want to try out the emulation on both and see how that goes. When I
feel like the mini would be better just to have like Battlesera or Linux.
You can. Yeah, you can install Battlesera in there. Like I'm gonna play around with everything.
10 is just not. Android 10 is just no.
It's bad.
It's just so old of a system. Like you've got and so many security updates that you're missing out on.
Yeah, exactly.
And certain app stability that's not going to be there because of Android 10.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know why they're not doing that.
I don't know. They should just put the 8 gigs in there, just put Android 13 on all of them, and then they, don't have to worry about the difference between them.
Is Android 10 still being supported security wise?
No. I mean, most of these won't have.
I was about to say. I mean, that's
updates.
it's a bit of a concern. So, like, goddamn.
I mean, technically, Google says any of their stuff is up to 7 years and stuff like that, but who knows if that's true or not.
Okay.
Oh man.
But so the whole Concord thing and back to what we're talking about. Hopefully, this is gonna put them on the radar, saying hey, we need to be more careful of what we're actually doing, not wasting $250 million, $2 billion, on a game that we're gonna close, not even support anymore.
Yeah, Yeah, I just hope they learn.
They could have made 5 games with that budget.
Oh
that were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't know who thought Concord was a great idea, but again, like it's something that's very old, 8 years in the making. Probably should have never been made to begin with. And like you said, there's so many more things they could have done. They could have made a Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer game. They probably would have been better than that. Because the multiplayer in Ghost of Tsushima is actually very, very fun. And honestly, they could have done something like that, and more people probably would have bought that.
No.
On one side, I'm tweeting back at Retroid Pocket, see if I can convince them to, upgrade that to at least Android 11. But yeah, anything else that you guys got to say when it comes to like Astro Bot? Are you guys thinking of picking it up?
It's not like on the top of my list, but I know I have a roommate that has a PS5, and I can just buy the game and play off of his PS5. So maybe it depends.
I have so many games right now that I'm still playing. It's hard for me to spend another $60 on a game when I'm still backlogged on all these other games that I'm still trying to play through. I'll definitely pick it up. Yeah. Just not right now because I'm so behind. Like I was playing Breath of Fire 4 today, and I was just jumping back into it because I'm like, well, I got nothing else to do. Might as well just put a couple hours in.
I definitely do like the intro, James, for Breath of Fire 4.
I was playing the Final Fantasy 16 demo on my ROG Ally.
Yeah.
Like it did not run great, to be honest.
Oh, it did not run great? Oh, wow.
Did it run at 30?
It could. Yes, it can run at 30. I'd have to drop it all the way down to 720, which is comparable to the Steam Deck, which is fine. It actually ran higher than 30, but certain cutscenes got it to at 30 and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I noticed in the
I was trying to get it at 900p is what I was trying to do.
Gotcha. So what I noticed in cutscenes, if you look at it, if you're using FSR, for whatever reason the cutscenes disable FSR. Like you don't look at the cutscenes, you'll see the FSR gets disabled for the cutscenes, so they play at native resolution, which is why it's like you get a dip in FPS. Because like on Steam Deck, for example, it dips to like 25, sometimes even like 15 FPS, depending on the cutscene. It dipped really low, and then when the gameplay starts up, it goes back up to 30. So it's a weird thing. Hopefully, it gets fixed somehow. And like I said, I'm hoping Valve does like an update before 16 actually comes out on PC for the Steam Deck, so that it can kind of run just better overall. Because it has potential. Like I think it can actually run at a steady 30. That just needs to go then. And actually, I was gonna ask you, Fam, did you have frame generation turned on too?
Yeah.
You did? Okay, no, still the same thing. Interesting.
Yeah, I think the Ally X will definitely be beneficial because of the extra RAM,
yeah.
Because it took a while to like loading all the CAD and stuff like that, the shaders. Like it took a while.
It does the same on the Steam Deck, yeah.
Yeah. So I think if they had more RAM to kind of like allocate some of that ahead of time, it probably would have been will run better.
But you were saying, Ash, about the beginning of Breath of Fire 4?
Yeah, the intro plays before you get to the start screen. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little animation.
Anime style, man.
Yeah.
Like old school anime style, those drawings, like you see that artwork, like that's definitely like 90s style.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%.
Did you start it at all, or you haven't done the
No. I did this all last minute before I hop into the podcast because I want to show as a surprise thing. Yeah, so. And it was funny because I had to like think quickly and crap because I'm like crap. I didn't have like a hard drive or a thumb drive where I could just transfer stuff in. So I'm like, server time. Let me just remotely transfer stuff. Which at this point, that's probably gonna be the main way how I transfer files and stuff because it's just a lot more easier in my opinion. So. But other than that, I was able to run Genshin and Zenless Zero off of it with no problem. My only complaint is that I mainly have to put those games on an SD card because apparently if you were to install those onto your internal SSD, then like once you like restart the files will be gone and you have to like reinstall it again, which that's not fun for me. But when I was running it off of the SSD and stuff, it takes a good bit for it to start up when it comes to verifying the files and compressing everything. And I thought the SD card I bought was good or decent. I bought a Samsung Evo Select SD card and everything.
Yeah, that's what I use. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's something within the setting where I can maybe check to see like how many megabytes per second this thing is actually reading and writing, and if it's lower than at least 100, because I also checked the Steam Deck specs is that the max it can go up is 100 megabytes per second. This despite the fact that the SD card can do read and write 160 or something like that. So I got to check and see if there's any optimizations I can make so that way I can load some of these gacha games a bit faster. But once it's loaded in, it's fun. It's great. It's still good. So yeah, happy days. I'm really enjoying this thing so far. It's gonna probably gonna be. I think the desktop might take a break because I even ran Doom off of this thing. Doom runs beautifully well. I typically use Doom as like a benchmark and stuff, and along with that, I've been using the dock as well. So I have a cool setup to where like I can actually switch back and forth between two machines with just one click of a button. So it's not really a KVM, but it's more like, all right, if I'm on number 2, then all the devices that's connected on that thing is going to be connected to the other device. So when I set that up, it all switches to the Steam Deck, which is nice. It's a quick switcheroo and everything. And I was able to play mouse and keyboard perfectly fine in most of the Steam titles on the Steam Deck. And then most of them ran above 60. It was great. I can't complain, honestly. It's great. So, and so far there's no need for me to actually partition the internal drive for Windows, because so far all the games that I want to run is running perfectly fine on Linux.
Yeah.
So,
well, I've been thinking of getting like a micro SD card to install Windows on it and then do a test that way, because they just did the final update for the audio drivers, so now everything works perfect on Windows. Oh,
okay, yeah. No, it's just like I prefer just to stay on Linux. I'm already used to Linux by this point, whether I'm configuring servers or been messing with laptops with Linux OSs on them.
What up, Geek Show?
What up, Geek Show? And I'm already used to it at this point now. That's just a me thing.
Yeah, that's
not everybody. So, if I can't get a game to run, I'll figure it out. Yeah. I'm a guy who loves to tinker a lot, so I'll definitely figure it out eventually. But if I do find out if there's a anti-cheat, then I'm giving up on that one because Linux and anti-cheat do not get along. So,
what's up, Geek? We needed you on the podcast today to talk about some Visions of Mana, because none of us picked it up, unfortunately. I want to pick it up eventually, but you're the only one that I know that has it. Yeah, I wanted Visions of Mana, and apparently it hasn't sold too hot right now.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah. It's like I think 500,000 copies or something like that. At least in Japan.
I heard the game was. I heard the game is good. It's just. Yeah. I guess it was one of those sleepers because the game is not one of those trendy games.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the point. This is the point I'm trying to make. Oopsie. Yeah. This is the point I'm trying to make here. Is that heck? It's like because everyone wants to follow the next trend and crap.
Mm-hmm.
We're never going to get good games and stuff. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So far, I've seen people reviewing this game positively right now. Yeah. So it's a good game.
Everybody that I know that's played it so far, which is not that many. There's only like 2, but they've enjoyed it and they liked it. He says it's cool. He has to scratch the surface, but he really likes it so far. He's like 5 hours in. Yeah, I know you were saying that it feels like back then when you played Secret of Mana. At least I think that was you. Could be confusing with somebody else's comment. But yeah, I really want to do that, which is funny. Like the composer of Visions of Mana is following me too, and that makes me feel even more bad. Like I need to get to.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so like I definitely need to go ahead and pick that up and play that. Oh man.
Yeah, seeing sales like this makes me afraid because you know how companies are, especially with Square Enix. They're gonna see sales like this and like, guess we don't need to make another Visions of Mana game or Secret of Mana.
They already said they canceled a lot of like remake projects, and they're only going back to the big games that they sell, like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. It was Dragon Quest. Nobody has an issue with Final Fantasy. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where they go with that. What is Final Fantasy 17 going to be about? How's it going to be?
That I cannot answer.
Jeez, Retroid. Oh my god.
Well, they announced something else?
Oh, they just said the Retroid Mini 5 Mini will also get Android 13.
I told you, I just posted it. I was like hoping it to do that. You see, that's what it is, because they're literally listening. So here it is. Going back a little bit to when we were talking about Retroid Pocket 5. The other reason why I've been into it, I've been talking with them, and they literally had color schematics, and I asked them for the Super Famicom colors, and they said yes. And then people were posting, what about GameCube colors? And they said yes. And they literally in real time are updating like what they're going with there. So that's crazy. That is crazy. So, and I posted, so my last comment to Retroid was, I told him that I'm buying the combo. He's like, but I was really hoping that you get at least Android 11 on the Mini for better compatibility. And that was I wrote that 9 minutes ago. And then you saying Retroid just right now said that?
Hey, listen.
It says users will be able to flash Android 13 on the Mini. I'm like, all right, cool.
At this point, they better send you a review copy. That's all I'm asking.
I mean, I hope so. I messaged them for a review copy, so I hope so. I'm gonna try messaging them again and see what.
That's the only downside with Retroid is that them sending out review units to people are so slow that you're more likely to get the order that you made in before a review copy gets sent to you, a review unit.
Oh, that sucks.
They're very bad about getting to. That's one of the downsides, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Like Wolf Den is a perfect example.
Yeah, I know he's had
issues with Retroid where he make an order, he'll get it, and then they send him a review copy, and his order comes in before his review unit comes in.
Yeah.
All the time.
See, and I can't wait to get those units. Like I said, I want to go ahead and just go ahead and carry it in my little sling bag, and then I want to go. Like the other day, I was out somewhere and I was gonna carry it with me, but I already sent out my RG cube. Yeah, so I had nothing to put in there. I was like, the Steam Deck is too big for me to carry, and I took it with me anyways. But the other thing I like about these devices, and the Steam Deck can do like standby mode. I just don't like the way the standby function works is not or sleep mode, whatever you want to call it, is not like the Nintendo Switch, right? Or like the RG Cube. Like the RG Cube, I'm playing a GBA game, and I could quickly just put it in sleep mode and then pop it back up like 2 hours later, and I don't have to worry about my battery being dead. Where Steam Deck, it drains battery pretty quick. So like hopefully with this, I will do the same thing. Just put it in sleep mode and do whatever, open it back up, and I'll continue playing. So yeah, that I can't wait for this. Can't wait for this. It's gonna be nice thing, nice thing to see when I get them and all that other good stuff. So, but I think that's pretty much everything we have to talk about today. Anything else that you guys want to mention?
No, I can't really think of anything.
Investigation Miles where Edward just came out, so go pick it up. $40.
Did you pick it up?
No, not yet.
Oh man, fake fan here. We got fake fan Ash.
fake fan, man. Fake fan. I could just pick it up, but like I did the same thing for.
Play it on your Steam Deck. You got your Steam Deck. Now you can play it on.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find a way to utilize my time and trying to get these games out of the way. For example, so I haven't finished Xenoblade Chronicles 2 yet.
Yeah.
So sad.
You gotta finish that. You gotta finish that and get to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But now you got that Steam Deck, so you can do a lot more with that.
That will be another day. That will be another time I start Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then here's the thing. When it comes to playing Switch games on the Steam Deck, it's going to be to where, okay, play on the Switch first, see if I'm satisfied with the performance. If not, then dump the game, put it on the Steam Deck, and go from there.
Yeah.
So,
man. Yeah, I guess that's everything we have to talk about today. If you guys playing anything else outside of Breath of Fire 4? I know you both mentioned you both. Well, you started it.
I've been trying to finish up Elden Ring. At least one of the playthroughs. I don't know if I'm gonna get the Shadow Archie DLC. But I definitely need to get back into whatchamacallit. Hi-Fi Rush. It's just every time I launch that game, that game makes me feel bad that how bad of a rhythm I have. So I'm like, okay. And I try to be on beat when it comes to fighting the robots, bro. But I just, bro, I beat the levels. It's just, man, can I at least get an A rank, not a C rank? So it's one of those games where you just got to get good if you want to get the high scores. That's all it is.
Yeah, Geek. Everybody here has homework. Their homework is they have to play Breath of Fire 4, or else they are banned from the channel.
Banned.
Yeah. No, I've been hyping up. You know me. I've been hyping up Breath of Fire 4 for the longest. And Ash finally got his Steam Deck, so he's going ahead playing Breath of Fire 4. He hasn't started it yet, but he has to load it on the Steam Deck. Fan's been playing. And what's the last thing you've done in the game, Fan?
I just fought a boss. It was Yawame or whatever, like a freaking floating knight little dude.
Okay.
I'm not too far into it because again, I only like do snippets every once in a while because I'm.
Are you still in the desert town or no?
Oh no.
You're way past that.
Did
you go to like the mist?
I'm past the mist. I use one of like the Empire's like teleporters.
So you fought that boss there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're getting to the good part. This is where things. Did you do the dream sequence already?
Not yet.
Okay, that's gonna be. You'll do like this little dream sequence, which is really really cool, and important. So yeah, you're pretty early on.
I have a question. Like, so is this RPG like one of those linear RPGs to where like you just go from one place, grind, and then go to the second place, and then so on and so forth, or is there a lot of diverging paths within the game where
it's linear, but there is some like diverging paths. Like as you walk, you'll get these like random areas or like question marks, and you'll go there and you can get like items and stuff like that and grind there. But like the more you explore, you'll find out like as you progress through the story. I want to say as you get to about halfway through the story, then you start getting like secret areas that'll pop up that have like side quests and stuff like that.
Cool.
But in the beginning, it's very like straightforward.
There's also masters that you can find to learn specific abilities and like stats and stuff like that. They're scattered throughout, so there'll be a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, and
I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure I want to like
it just
explore.
Takes a while to get to that point.
I just want to explore every nook and cranny. I guess like throughout the half of the game, they want to try to teach you how to play, and then the other half we're like, all right, you're on your own now. Is that what it is? Is that one of those? Okay.
Yeah, about halfway. That's when you'll get to a part where you get a second dragon's ability, and then that's when you really like it opens up. Because then you can all the other dragons are optional, so you can go through the whole game with only 2 dragon abilities, but you don't want to do that. Yeah, you definitely want to get every single dragon's ability because each dragon is like an element, right? So you can get trying to think like one of them is earth type, the other one's like wind type, and so forth. So you can get
fire,
each of those
ice, water,
and they have different moves, different final moves. They'll help you out. But of course, you get also their weakness. So like if you turn into the fire dragon, then you're weak to water now. So you got to be careful with what you're fighting. Or I think it's ice actually.
I like the mechanic. Even though you're powerful, you still could be weak to something. I like that. Nice.
Yeah, all the dragons. Yeah, I in my playthrough, my original playthrough, Ryu there's a move called multi-hit, or is it called combo or something like that? It's a combo move, and basically what you do is you have to it's like a QTE. You have to press a bunch of buttons in order, and you can do a bunch of hits. So basically, what I would do is I would just stab above Ryu as much as I can with attack, and then you do the multi-hit damage, and you just do crazy damage over and over again. But you have to find a master, like Fan was saying. You have to find the master that teaches you that move. And I don't remember where he's at. So like right away in my head, I was like, man, I gotta get this guy, learn his technique, so it can do that. But there's masters all around. You learn techniques from them, but not only that, you learn techniques from the enemies as well. So
that's even better.
But the thing is, sometimes they don't tell you you can learn from a certain enemy. You have to guard and see if you can learn from the enemy.
Yeah, you discover it yourself and stuff. It's more like teaching a man how to fish type of video, which I like. So
it's nice. There's certain early abilities you can learn that will help you out later on in the game. Which I skipped a lot of them, unfortunately. because I was just going through. I was like, dang, I forgot that. But yeah, it's a good game. There's a lot of like interesting dynamics. It's very linear in the beginning, and then it opens up about halfway, and there's a lot more stuff to do. But it's very like story focused in the beginning.
Okay, makes sense.
But yeah, it looks like Geek is gonna join in and play as well alongside us. So that's what's up. Yeah,
That's
all
what's
the
up.
dragons was always tough to get all the dragons. It was always tough.
I want that to be tough.
Yeah.
I want it. You know, the game is make you stronger in a way. You know. So.
Yeah, exactly. Breath of Fire 4, bring it back, Capcom. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, all I got to do is do a remaster collection or something like that. I mean, and call it a day.
Yeah.
Like hold my sake and then just do it.
Deadline. I mean, play at your own pace, Geek, because fans been playing it throughout the year, right? You started it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So throughout the year, same here. Like I started mine's last year, but I've been playing at my own pace. I'm a little bit ahead of you because I am in the. No, I don't want to spoil it. I'm in an area. That's all I'll say. I'm in an area.
Yeah.
But like we've all been playing at our own pace. I think Bryant played some too, didn't he?
Yeah, you did.
Well, he did before on the Steam Deck. He doesn't have a Steam Deck no more, so I don't know how he's gonna play it now.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
I mean, did he get a RG Ally or anything like that at all?
he had the Ally X, but I could have sworn he said he returned it.
Okay.
Like
Hey,
I've asked him
already?
a couple times. I thought he did, but maybe I'm wrong.
Let me go back to our conversation. He told me he was trying to get rid of the Steam Deck because he wanted to get the ROG Ally for the better D-pad.
Yeah,
or something like that.
he told me that he returned it, and then he found out that there's a mod that he can, or maybe it was for the Steam Deck that has a D-pad mod. I don't know. I forgot. Like I'm confusing myself. I'm gonna have to ask Brian again.
Let me see. Let me go back. Let me go back. trying to go back in the archives here. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Because I know on stream he said something, so I might be mixing up the whole conversation now. Like it's a totally different conversation.
Yeah. That's literally what happened. He said I'm selling it because I want something with a beefier D-pad. Might go with the Asus Ally X.
Yeah. Geek.
So
if you want to play Final Fantasy 1, you got to play the 3DS version. It is so awesome in 3D. You have to get that English translation, and then attach that to the ROM of the 3DS version and play on 3DS. It's amazing. That's the way to play that game.
Yeah, and I can agree along with him too because I got that on my 3DS too, bro. It is the definitive way to play it.
Yep.
It's not even the Pixel remaster. Not even close. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely the way to play it for sure. But yeah, I guess we're gonna go ahead and end the podcast today. I appreciate. Is it free 99 with emulation? It is because that game never came out over here in the US. So
yeah,
you got to do that translation mod.
Pretty much.
Well, not emulation, but if you do, you got to do a hardware. You got to do hack your 3DS basically, so you can go ahead and load it in there. That's the best way to go ahead and get it. But yeah, you play it, you gotta have the 3D enabled. You gotta play it in 3D and look at it. And I'm telling you, it's well worth it. Looks amazing on the 3DS. But yeah, that's all what we have for today. Appreciate everybody for joining us for the podcast. A little bit shorter podcast. Wasn't much to talk about this week except for Astro Bot and of course our little rambling there, and of course the Retroid Pocket stuff. It's nice to see that. We'll probably have a lot more stuff to talk about when it comes to Retroid in the future. Like I mentioned earlier, I will be getting a couple units to review. Oh, look. And they just announced the ship date because they didn't have ship dates anymore. They just had pre-order. So the estimated shipping time for the Mini is the end of September. Estimated shipping time for the RP5 is the end of October. So there you go. Hopefully, I'll get both units as soon as possible. So keep an eye out for those there.
It's like they're watching the stream right now.
I know, right? I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe on YouTube. Trying to hit 2,000. Hopefully by the end of the year. Every bit does count. Share the channel. That helps out a lot. We'll be back Thursday with the group stream. I think we're all good and ready to go. Unless something comes up, we should be good. If not, I'll have a solo stream. I am feeling a lot better. I'm no longer sick, which is nice. So I have a little cough here and now and there. My throat scratchy, but it's a lot better than what it was last week. So we will be back Thursday, and then Friday, of course, I'll be back with some more Astro Bot, and of course, next Saturday we'll be back with the podcast. Fam, where can I catch you at?
Hey, you can catch me at Phaneckswhy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, here on Saturdays, Thursdays, depending on what's going on with the group stream.
Yeah. What about you, Ash?
You can catch me at Astrostrium, even though I haven't uploaded any videos for a bit. Honestly, I've just been helping out other people with their YouTube stuff, including the random encounter and some other friends, including my father too. So, yeah, I'm just taking a back seat and just giving help and advice. That's all I'm doing.
And as always, you can catch me right here at the random encounter. We'll have a video up this week. I don't know what I'm gonna do it on yet. Like I said, I got plenty of stuff planned. It's just I gotta wait for everything to come in, and I feel like everything is coming in at the same time, which kind of sucks. Because the Retroid Pocket Mini comes out end of September. I'm also getting the Retroid Pocket Micro at the end of September, so it's like everything's coming at the end of September, and of course in October as well. And then I have like controllers and a bunch of other accessories I pre-ordered earlier in the year. They're not hitting, they're not shipping until November, October, and December. So yeah. Thanks for watching. My name is James. Thank you, Fan. Thank you, Ash. Stay locked in if you're on YouTube, because we will be moving you over to the TheGeakShow's archive stream right after this. Catch you guys later.